Hello there, my name is Sean Rowley and welcome along to my vodcast. This is the new vinyl review. The vodcast which does what it says on the tin, looks at the new releases that have come out on vinyl, whether they're new albums, whether they're reissues of classic albums, compilations, dance 12 inches or even the classic 7 inch. If it's on vinyl and it's any good, then I'm going to be reviewing it within this vodcast. Many thanks to everyone who commented on the first new vinyl review show, which was the best of 2014, which is still available to be seen online. What we've decided to do with this particular set of reviews is to break them down into bite-sized chunks, because where the first one was 30 minutes long or something like that, and let's face it, who needs to see a show which is me waffling on for 30 minutes about how much I love vinyl? So welcome to the new vinyl review, which is your little bite-sized chunks, far more digestible. Okay, so we've got a stack of new releases to get through on this week's episode of the new vinyl review, and I'm going to start with this album. This is an album that has been made by a band called Pond. Now, the word psych is a word that one might say is a little bit overused these days. Any band that puts a bit of phasing on their guitars tends to be deemed as a psychedelic band. But this lot are most definitely the real deal. They are an offshoot band from the legendary Tame Impala, who hail from obviously Australia, as do Pond, and this is their 6th album release. And before I get into the actual music on the album, I just wanted to share with you the experience that you can have as a vinyl owner, the tactile experience that one can have by owning this sleeve. Now this is just such a great sleeve. It didn't go amiss that the sleeve was, I could use the word ripped off, but I would like to use the word more inspired by a legendary sleeve of the late 60s, which I just happen to have a copy of down here. And this is, by the way, this is a great book, the complete record covers collection as put together by the artist Robert Crumb. And I suppose one of his most well-known sleeves was, of course, the Janis Joplin fronted Cheap Thrills album. That was very much the inspiration behind the Pond album sleeve. Not only have they used that as its inspiration, but they have also used, as my daughter pointed out to me the other day when she said, "Dad, why have you got an album by Where's Wally?" Which is brilliant. Look, Where's Wally meets Janis Joplin. It's genius. As for the music, well, all the regular psychedelic influences flow throughout the whole album. You've got the likes of the Flaming Lips, Mercury Rev, MGMT, to name but a few contemporaries. But the guiding light, the shadow that is cast over the whole album really is the genius of Todd Rundgren, whose name seems to come up so many times when making reference to a lot of these contemporary psychedelic albums. There are some brilliant tracks on it. My particular favourite track that is on here is called Elvis's Flaming Star, and it's track 2 on side 1, and its references are a bit more sort of early 70s T-Rex glam rock on this, but it just works a treat. it works on many levels. And for me, as an Elvis nut, I love the fact that they've made reference to one of the more underrated Elvis films of the 1960s, entitled Flaming Star. Oh yeah, there's one other bit. Always worth checking out just how far a band is up its arse by looking at the thanks to credits that you get on every album that comes out. I mean, you get everything from God to your dog contained within the album. But on this particular album, they have decided to thank everyone who's ever been thanked before. We loves you. Which just sort of sums it all up. Okay, on to the wonderful world of reissues. As I harp on about every time I do one of these broadcasts, or I'm always on my BBC Radio Kent show, there's just an absolute world of music that is out there and available to you that is just so worth checking out and discovering. It will give you so much joy in your life, especially if you own it on vinyl. So the wonderful world of reissues, there is one label that stands head and shoulders above literally every other label. They've been doing it for so many years. They put together the finest compilations known to man. They are Ace Records, and this is their latest compilation. And as you can see by the title, it's entitled Ciao Bella. It is a collection of Italian girl singers from the 1960s. This is not something that I would go out of my way to check, but when Ace present it in the fashion that they do, and you can't but help fall in love with these incredible tunes, they're a little bit on the, I hate using the word cheesy, they're a little bit on the slightly European vibe, but that's all the better for it. There's an atmosphere and a flavour that you can get just from listening to this record. You literally think you are riding your Lambretta around the streets of Rome. On to another mighty fine European compilation that has just come out. This one is entitled Funky Chicken, and it's a really brilliant sleeve, by the way, and it's a collection of Belgian Grooves from the 1970s, as you can see there. This puts together some incredibly obscure music that was made in Belgium, was made by the studio musicians, who really were sort of at a bit of a loose end because the pop market in Belgium just wasn't that big. So no one was really making a great deal of money out of making pop records, which of course is what people think everyone else wants to buy. So all these sort of studio musicians decided to just sod it all and just make music that they wanted to make. And there is an incredible sort of hodgepodge of musical styles that ranges from Latin to Afro-funk that comes through on these tracks. The opening track on this may well be known to old ravers, I include myself within that title, old ravers who were going out in 1989. For there is a track called Stories, which was covered by a band called Is It in 1989 and made a bit of a noise on the dance floors of London and the UK. This is the original version that was performed by Chakakas. So I'm a bit of a fan of the cover version, and I'm always on the lookout for those slightly odd, quirky cover versions. In fact, me and a mate of mine used to do a cover versions club night where we would literally play cover versions all night, called Cover to Cover. So it was with great joy that I found this recently released cover version of, well, some would think that the Ram Jam Band's Black Betty was the original version, but they'd be wrong, for the original version was by Leadbelly. Well, the original was probably back in the turn of the last century that it first appeared, so who could claim ownership of it, I don't know. But this sort of puts the Leadbelly back into Black Betty. This is performed by Son of Dave, by the way, if I can tell you that.
Bam-a-lam, a black Betty at a trap. Bam-a-lam, the poor thing went wild. Bam-a-lam, a little ain't none of mine. Bam-a-lam, the poor thing went blind. Bam-a-lam, whoa, black Betty. Bam-a-lam, whoa, black Betty. Bam-a-lam.
That's great. And on the other side, he does a Spanish language version of Tequila. Who even knew that there were words to the track Tequila?
Tequila pide la gente, tequila para gozar. 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 Siempre bravo, también caliente, siempre fuerte. Dime que me vas a dar.